That's not a working lighthouse anymore, is it?
I don't believe they work it anymore. All right, wind, come on. Yeah, this has got 83 times zoom, so any little wiggling and it just, it's like jello. Come on here. Just die down a little bit, will you? Okay, on this part, I'm still looking a little, I'm looking southwest, but here in a little bit, I'll be going to the northwest and show you an area that I was filming that direction to a little rock base. All right, and when I get to that, I'll drop in a little time lapse that I did from the lower perspective. Okay, due to the fact that I went higher, I'm able to resolve things out farther past, just like on a tabletop. In order to see more of the table, if you're down level with it, looking at just the surface, you have to go higher in order to resolve the end of that table, or go higher to resolve the whole board at its full length. Because any time that you go down low on a flat surface, you will bring that flat surface into a little sliver, like in my board test. Now, I apologize for the wind. It was a little windy up there, and that's why I deleted the audio on part of this. And here I was reading Metabunk's Earth Curve Calculator. Basically I put in a 6-foot height in feet, and the distance it says is 4 miles. But here later on down the line here, it says results ignoring refraction, horizon is 3 miles away. They keep bringing up this bulge, but what happened to the 1 mile? Refraction is blocking you out from seeing it. So, as I'm reading down through here of Metabunk's, Earth Curve Calculator explanation of why we're not seeing, that extra mile, they're explaining it the opposite way. They're saying that extra mile is, below the curve. But how can you see 4 miles but only be able to see 3 due to refraction? So they're basically telling you that refraction is blocking you out from seeing 1 mile, an extra mile. And then they go on to some other excuse of, or another way to calculate it, but it basically comes up with the same results. So, here's Anclote Power Plant, which I have video from Hernando Beach of this power plant, which is quite a long distance away. Now, yes, it gets cut off, but see that little joint right there, that light flashing? Well, I got double lights flashing, so the big mirror, that mirroring is blocking out the lower portion of the building or that tower. That's my explanation. Due to the fact that I turned my camera northwest, and that's the direction that the wind was blowing out of, it muffled out the sound so bad you couldn't hear the conversation that I was having with this couple. The gentleman was a ex-military, and he just brought up the conversation about, gun carry, what I thought about the gun carry law in the state of Florida. And I told him that I think it's good as long as the person that has the gun is a responsible, respectful person and doesn't use it to bully people or use it for bad intentions. Once a weapon gets in the hands of an idiot or a maniac, of course you can have issues. All right, this was at the west tip of Anclote Island, or I should say the north tip of Anclote Island. Apparently there's a boat dock out there. And there's a lot of boats that go out here at Anclote Island, and you know, they camp, they set up their boats on the west side of it, and you know, go out there swimming. It's a pretty nice beach out there. I've been out there, oh shit, 25, 30 years ago, maybe even more. But you know, as I scour along here, I'm going to be putting in a little 10-minute time lapse that I did while pointing in the direction of this little island that sticks out there. That I was showing you where the kids or the people were dancing or bouncing around or walking on water. And I just wanted to show you kind of the difference between the angular resolution that I was getting compared to, you know, from high to low. There is a big difference, and, you know, our perspective does play a role in everything. You know, don't believe me? Go out and test it. Good Times for All did a great video showing how that mirroring effect does cause things to appear to curve, but it doesn't curve. Now right here is the time lapse that I did. As you can obviously see, everything, or you know, a lot of the stuff back there is just all whited out, and you can see that even the bigger boats a little more whited out than the closer boats. And you can see people walking around out there. You know, again, this is just for comparison to this next part. And what I did with the next part here after the transition was I slowed it down because I think I got a better spot where I can use this example in on another video, and I will try to put this same time lapse in to show you the comparison, or maybe I'll have to just go back to some of my other footage and show you. But here's the kind of the tip of that rock island, and these were where the boats were hanging out. Now you can obviously see well past it because of my angular height. I'm able to see beyond that water. Now what was blocking me out at the lower angle was the land itself, or these rocks itself was blocking me out from seeing farther. And also you got to take into consideration that little strip behind this water, or this rock area, or this island, whatever you want to call it, is you know, a lot of miles within that little strip. And that's one of the things that you got to look at as you're, you know, looking from your standpoint all the way out to the horizon. Each little you know, strip it increases as you go further out, even though it's a smaller strip of water. It's miles within that little strip, not just feet or, you know, hundreds of yards. It's miles. And that's one of the things that I did want to bring to your attention on that. And you know, this is my theory, so nobody has to believe my theory or whatever. It doesn't matter to me. I was gonna delete out this part because it was windy, but look at this boat, the angular size of it, and then you'll see another boat that's fixing to fall off the edge. And this is one of the things that I try to tell people is, how can I go out and videotape all these boats on the edge of the water? I mean, you know, people want to say that that's where the curve drops off, but I have another little example that I'll show here shortly when I get to this boat that's that appears to be on the edge of the water. So I decided to leave this little piece in because I wanted to give you a comparison to a boat that's actually above that visible water line that I got last night from the observation tower here in Hernando County where I live, from Jenkins Creek. Now Jenkins Creek's observation tower is actually in a couple of miles from the shoreline. Um, yes, there's a creek that runs out and goes out into the Gulf of Mexico, but it's actually inland. And I'm going to say about 1.5 miles, 2 miles tops. I wouldn't say it would be over that. So I got to take that into consideration too as I'm zooming out. Now here's that boat that's out there, and you see the size of it, and you see he's right on the edge. But now I'm gonna, uh, I want to break in here and show you a little clip that I did last night from another boat. Um, like I said, from Jenkins Creek in Hernando County. And it was a little darker when I took this other footage, so you'll have to take that into consideration. But, you know, the mirroring effect you can obviously see in this next piece of footage I bring out. Alright, this footage I got last night. I was up on the observation tower. Excuse the shaking again. There was people walking up and down, shaking the shit out of it. There was one guy up there that was actually a very rude man. Him and his girlfriend, apparently, you know, they took the best spot where a lot of people will stand and take pictures. Somebody asked the guy nicely, you know, if he would step to the side so this young guy and this girl could get a picture of themselves, you know, with the sun behind them. And, you know, it was a perfect time for them to take a picture because the sun was kind of being blocked, so, you know, it wasn't going to glare them out in their picture. The guy, like, he just kind of shoot him. He wouldn't even talk to him. He shoot him away with his hand, like, you know, get out of here, bub. And, you know, he didn't even say a word to him. I mean, he was just rude. So I kind of stepped to the side and let them come over where I was at and get on an angle, and I took the picture for them. Yeah, I took actually several pictures for several people because this guy was just, like I said, he was rude, obnoxious, and so here's this boat that was coming out from above this island. So, you know, I said, oh, you know, you could see the water, you know, above this tree line, or this island that was out there. And you could also see this boat, which was actually above that visible water line. Now, he's on the water. He's not floating in the air. He's not on the other side of the curve. Refraction ain't pulling him up. He's literally in the water, and the water is mirroring the underneath of the boat, which is pretty obvious because you see the lights. And you know, he'll get as he gets further away from that visible water line. In other words, he's going farther away from me slowly, gradually. He's probably going on a northwest angle from me, but you'll obviously see these lights will start showing up a little more visible a little further into the video. And, you know, I do these observations so I can learn myself. And, you know, I really do try to get people to go out and do their own observations and not just trust me. You know, I have my theory, and, you know, maybe not all the flat earthers agree with me. But, you know, I think I'm starting to get things put together to where I'm going to be able to present a video that shows this mirroring effect and some other effects that, you know, give you the illusion of a curve. Like I said, Good Times for All did an excellent one with a bunch of little buckets, all on a line, all on a perfectly flat floor. And when you looked at the video, you could obviously see that mirroring effect causing those buckets to appear to curve downward, but you could see the mirroring in it, and you could see where the bottoms of the buckets were appearing to get cut off by that mirror. Same way here. You know, if I had a better, you know, visibility on this boat, it'd probably appear as if part of that bottom of the boat or the whole of the boat was getting cut off. But again, that's just due to that mirroring effect that really redirects our vision upward a little bit, and it's a slight upward direction. It's not a huge upward direction. It's a very slight one. Now, I think I'm going to add a little bit of brightness to this video. this part of the video, just to
That's frustrating. All right.
bring out the boat a little bit more so you can actually see it's a boat and it's not some weird ass light floating across the bathtub or something. Because I don't want anybody to ever think that I'm trying to deceive them, because I never intentionally try to deceive anybody. And I try to be as honest as possible. No, I'm not getting right down to the nitty gritty and making all these monstrous measurements and everything. But I think my videos can speak for themselves. All you got to do is have the eyes and mind to see. Okay, it isn't just um, go out there and say, oh, science says it's a mirage, and not to believe your eyes, and this
Thanks,
thing's
big
gone
guy.
over the curve, and due to this magical force of refraction, it's pulled it up above the curvature of Earth. Nope, it's not happening. All right, I'm gonna end this part and go back to the original video. I recently had a globe believer tell me that he doesn't question the hypothesis or whatever, the theory of this angular resolution. He doesn't question it, which I say this video alone actually proves that angular resolution does play a big role in how we see and even how cameras work. Any kind of optics, will uh, pretty much prove that this is actually the case. People want to deny it, but as you watch this boat here, coming up to this, it almost looks like he's going to run into the rocks. But here shortly, you'll see he pulls up there and he parks his boat. And he's probably not even on the actual shore because this looks like it could have some rocks on it, and of course, I'm sure he doesn't want to beat the crap out of the bottom of that fiberglass boat. Um, but you'll see him pull up here. He'll shut down. Again, how far away is he from that landmass or those rocks or the sandbar? I'm not sure because I've actually never been out there. So I'm not sure if it's a sandbar or if there's some rocks out there. But hey, maybe one day I'll get my boat and go out there and film from that location, and see what I can see from there. All right, well, I really do appreciate y'all watching, and I appreciate all my subscribers, new ones and old ones. I much appreciate all the nice comments that they give me about my observations, and even as you see as I go toward this the sun, how that light is refracted differently or diffracted differently in the camera lens. All right, again, appreciate y'all watching. Thanks a lot. And I think I got one more video on this. Have a good day.